Welcome to the conference Beyond Sight, Translating Tactile Innovations. Can everyone do me a small favor? Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Now try to find the nearest exits, or open your phone, order your favorite coffee, check your messages, navigate this room without seeing it. It's hard. This is what everyday design feels like when it forgets to translate to everyone. For millions of people, it's not just inconvenience, it's exclusion. Hello, I'm Yanzi. As a designer, accessibility and inclusive design have always been an important part of my design philosophy. A few years ago, I was working on the project to improve the examination process for disabled patients in Chinese hospital. It's opened my eyes to how even public space, like the space meant to care for everyone, can completely overlook the needs of certain communities. Especially right now, we are living in a tech-driven, visually dominant world. It's made me to ask, how can designers translate design to improve accessibility for people who navigate the world without sight? Here's the visual world we experience in our everyday life. We have a very dynamic fusion of visual arts and data visualization that merges science with perception. Even now, designers transforming lectures, business presentations, news, and entertainments into more visually immersive experience. The truth is, design prioritizes sight, and designers really prioritize visual design. But what about those who are visually impaired? Globally, at least 22 billion people who have a visual impaired, and in the United States alone, over 7 million people live with uncorrectable visual loss. More surprisingly, around 98% of the world's top websites fail to meet the basic accessibility guidelines. How does design go beyond sight? Tactile design is an answer. It's not merely accommodation, it's a revolutionary principle that unlocks information, fosters independence, and enriches the sensory experience for those who navigate the world without sight. Today, the transformative power of tactile experience is often overlooked, left behind in the fast-moving world of visual design. The stagnation presents a gap, one that as designer we have a responsibility to bridge. The first, Braille as a foundation, not a limit. Braille is often seen as old-fashioned, but this system is a language of touch for the visually impaired. The brilliance of the Braille system lies in its elegant logic. It's not just a collection of dots, it's a tactile code built from 6 dot cells and arranged in the grid system that represents letters, numbers, punctuations, and even music and math. So each character fits with a fingertip, and each dot's placement unlocks a different sound, idea, or meaning. So taking Braille Nui from Japan as a sample to really show how design can do more with Braille. And innovative beyond it can actually help build a more inclusive society for the visually impaired. This typeface designed by Kusuke Takahashi, he was actually inspired by the communication gap between sighted and blind individuals, particularly the lack of the Braille on the public signage, which often makes everyday environments inaccessible for them. This innovative font integrates traditional letter forms with Braille and allowing sighted and blind readers to access the same information on the same line at the same time. This is more than a typographic innovation. It's a bold vision of inclusive design in action. And his design approach is overlaid Braille dots onto Roman letters in a very balanced way, so they can coexist on the same lines without any confusions. So this font allows for inclusive design in public environments, and right now is applied in train stations and buildings in Japan. It's not only solved the key accessibility pinpoints, but also are creating the new opportunities for social interactions and participation for the visually impaired. Empathy is a key to Takahashi's design process, and he was really guided by desire to help people connect without divisions. And this empathetic communication was really telling us design can connect by embracing. Second, expanding tactile graphics in daily life. For blind and low vision individuals, accessing visual contents like maps, infographics, and diagrams has always been challenging. They often rely on text-based experience, but this cannot really capture the richness and details of the original images. There's a real need for the way to help them to feel and experience this information. Tactile graphics are one such solution, allowing visual impairments to engage with visual contents in a more direct and meaningful way. MIT now developed an innovative use of 3D printing that could help to address this issue. By converting digital images into tactile graphics, this technology transforms complex visual contents into the format that can be fully explored by touch. One of the significant advantages of 3D printing is its ability to create models of objects that are either too small to touch, like molecules, or too large to be represented through traditional tactile methods, like elephants. This breakthrough opens new possibilities. Enabled blind individuals to interact with objects that were once inaccessible. And as graphic designer, imagine when we use this technology, transforming our design concept into intricate tactile graphics. We can actually provide visually impaired individuals with a more immersive graphic design experience. They have better way to engage with the visual elements. Here are real-life projects are using this design approach. The collaborative initiative called Touch Graphics Tactile Map Projects is really showing how 3D printing can make urban transit system accessible for the visually impaired. Those tactile maps feature raised landmarks, streets, and routes, allowing users to understand spatial relationship by touch. They are also complemented by audio cues, providing real-time location-specific information. This multisensory approach, combining touch and sound, redefines accessibility in urban design, creating an inclusive experience that empowers visually impaired individuals to navigate public space independently. It's not just about offering alternatives to visual maps, but about fostering autonomy and breaking down the barriers. Another example is the APS crosswalk diagram, created for New York City's Vision Zero program. These tactile signs, mounted above accessible pedestrian signals, illustrate traffic flow, lane configurations, bike lanes, bus stops, and refugee islands. And research has shown that this diagram are really helping those visually impaired pedestrians navigate busy intersections with better safety. As a designer, we have the responsibility and opportunity to use technology and design to empower those without sight. It's about creating tools and using them that foster independence, allowing individuals to navigate their world with more confidence. The third point of tactile innovations, integrating emotional haptics in tactile design. So what is emotional haptics? Emotional haptics utilize touch to convey emotions, intentions beyond informational content. By incorporating tactile design could enrich the sensory experience, making technology more accessible and emotionally resonates for the visually impaired community. And with the benefits like enhance environment awareness, enhance those social interactions, and improve safety for them. To dive deeper into how emotional haptics can be integrated into design, I spoke with Becky Wang, an interactive designer from Harvard GSD. Becky's work blends real-time tech with physical experience. She works across gaze tracking, generative visuals, and tactile interactions. first question I have for her is, what is Bitflip about? What was your design process like as you explore ideas around perceptions and interactions?
Actually, this project started as a very simple experiment in eye tracking, like wherever the participant looks, an image appears in that direction. It's like a direct mapping between gazing and visual feedback. But as we developed it, it became like much more about instability of perception. What happens when the data flips, when vision becomes fragmented and or emotionally changed? We visualize data corruption by using glitches, color shifts, and tricks of users' gaze. It's about making attention and even uncertainty to the visible.
What are some emergent directions in emotional haptics? How do you see it shaping the future of inclusive design?
One exciting area is that dynamic haptic feedback, vibrations that aren't just on or off, but shift in texture, rhythm, or even emotional tone. Like a soft pulsing might feel calm, while a sharp buzz could signal urgency. And some projects even explore thermal cues, like using warmth to convey comfort or coolness to suggest distance. And these days, AI is actually becoming a really helpful tool for emotional haptics. It allows haptic feedback to feel more personal, like it can adjust in real time based on how someone interacts or even how they're feeling. And one great example I could think about is project called Asper. It's from MIT Media Lab, and it's a small wearable that clips onto your clothes and you smell air pockets that inflate and deflate to guide you breathing through gentle touch. And it's designed to help people manage stress and anxiety by promoting slow, controlled breathing, and something that is being proven to support both physical and mental health. And what is especially cool is that the feedback patterns can be personalized to match your own breathing rhythm and preferences. That makes it especially meaningful for help people who are visually impaired or for someone who connects more through their body than through the visuals. And actually, I really encourage everyone as a designer to explore how touch can go beyond just giving information. I think it can be a deeply expressed and emotional medium, capable of helping us connect ourselves and others in meaningful ways.
What do you think are the most important skills for designing emotional and inclusive haptic systems?
Mm, For sure, I think it's empathy, especially when we are talking about designing for people who are visually impaired. Empathy is a key. Only when the designers truly engage with the community, like interact with them, communicate, and build trust, can they begin to understand the real pinpoints. And it's through that connection that design can actually offer meaningful solutions.
Hearing Becky speak about empathy really brings us back to the heart of inclusive design. It's not just about technology, it's about connection. As designer, we have the power to lead a revolution in accessibility, but the first thing we need to do is to move away from visual first mindsets and work on empathy-driven tactile solutions. So, what's the key takeaway here? As a designer, we have three powerful approaches we can use to innovate tactile design. First, reimagine. We can look at Braille as a foundation, not a limit. Second, embed. Let's bring tactile graphics into the flow of everyday life. Third, express. Haptics doesn't need to stop at function. Emotional haptics brings a new depth to interaction design and tactile design when that are more human and inclusive. Together, we can translate visual experience into tactile ones, bridging the gap between what we see and what we touch. To really craft a world that was truly inclusive, we must make sure everyone, no matter about their size, they can all interact with the world in a very immersive and empowering way. Join us, collaborates, creates, and commits with the designing solution that empower the visually impaired community. Translating tactile innovation. Let touch speak what sight can see.